What's going on, guys? Just want to do a quick little tip up video for you guys. If you guys are brand new to ice fishing, awesome way to catch fish is on tip ups. It's a great way to catch big fish, bass, pickerel, pike, walleye. You know, a lot of times you're jigging for panfish and you can jig for bigger fish, but an awesome way to get extra lines out is using tip ups. Depending on your state, you got to look up your regulations on how many lines per person you can have out. In PA, we can have 5 total. So if I want to jig, that's 1 line and then 4 tip ups out. So we're gonna get right into tip ups and some tips and tricks for you guys. Alrighty guys, so first up, basic tip up you guys are gonna purchase at your local sporting goods stores. I think these are like $12, $13 and come with the flag attached and then your spool, your guide, and usually you have to put your own line on it. So usually you put tip up line on it depending on how heavy you guys wanna go. I go like 30 pound. We don't have super huge pike and stuff in PA, so I don't really have to worry about it too much. And then you put on a bunch of leader line. Usually fill the spool up as much as you can, and then you add a leader, just like if you're bass fishing, a braid to fluoro leader. So I add like 3-foot leader with an Alberto knot, just like I'm bass fishing, and then I add 2 split shots and then a hook. I usually use like a 2-aught drop shot hook from bass fishing. You can use small treble hooks as I showed in this. This is an awesome thing to have, guys. It's just a little container to have your split shots, your big hooks, small treble hooks, and then I'll show you guys the depth gauge in a second. Alrighty guys, so first up, of course, drill your hole, get your slush out of, and then you're gonna have your hook, bare hook with your split shot. So what you're gonna do is, those orange things that was in my thing, this is a depth gauge. So all you're gonna do is clip it onto your bare hook, and then you're gonna send it down the hole. So this way, a lot of times I like to keep my bait about 1 foot to 2 foot off bottom. So you're just gonna feed it on down, and then you'll feel when it goes slack. Now, why do I have a button on my string? A nice little tip hack is to put a button on your string. So all you do is get a normal button from any store or your house that you have. They have 4 holes. You're gonna go in it and then out of it, and that allows this button to slide up and down. So what you do as you feed down your line, you're gonna slide that button up until it stops. So you can see how the line went slack now. So once you lift up, you'll feel the weight of the depth gauge right there, and that's bottom. So what you do is you're gonna slide your button all the way down until you can, to that point by the hole right there is where the depth gauge weight comes off the bottom. So I'm gonna lift up, I'm gonna slide that button down 1 foot or 2. And that way I know exactly where I need to be. So next up, you're gonna pull up your depth gauge weight, done, clip that on here, and then you guys are gonna get your minnows. I have a minnow bucket here with a little aerator on it. Keeps a bunch of minnows alive all day. You're gonna grab yourself a nice sized minnow, shiner, whatever you guys use. And then I like to hook them in the dorsal fin. So I just barely go into it. That way, when they bite it and eat it and you yank, when you set the hook's gonna come out of the minnow and into the fish's mouth. So you don't need it super deep in there. And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna feed your line down. And now remember, you put that button on so you know exactly where you need to be. So once your line gets fed down, all you're gonna do is you're gonna take your tip up and reel it up to that button. Now your button's probably not gonna fit through the line gauge or the line reel where it feeds through. So what I like to do is once you get the button below it, wrap it around, get your line through. Okay, so your button's right here. So that means when your button's reeled up to here, your bait is gonna be 2 foot off the bottom, exactly where you measured it. So now every time if you catch a fish, it's gonna take line out, you're gonna set the hook. And if you don't have that button there, you don't remember where 2 foot off the bottom is. So the button is just an always easy way to retie it or get back right to where you need to be every time. Then you're not gonna keep messing around with checking the depth every time you reset it. So once it's here, see which way your tip up is gonna spin. And there's 2 modes, if you guys don't know. There's a deep mode or a heavier fish strike and a light bite. I always like to put it on the heavier bite. And what I like to do is there's a little screw in the side of these that allows this to go up and down. I like to keep it pretty low to the bottom because if you have it super high, your flag's only gonna go down to here. It almost looks like it's already up. Where if you go down here, you can tell that it's down, and when it flings up, you're gonna know that it's gone off. So what you're gonna do is make sure that it spins towards the center of the flag when it's taking line, and then you put it on the heavy bite gauge, and right down in. You want to make sure you clean the slush out, clean the snow around the snow, clean the snow around the hole. We got a lot of slush today. We are in like 4 or 5 inches of water. There's like a foot of snow on here, so you make sure you want to kind of kick the snow away. Make sure you can see that flag when it goes up. So nice little video on tips and tricks on tip ups, guys. If you haven't used them, you guys should definitely get them. Check your regulations, see how many lines you can have out. Awesome way to get some extra fish while you guys are jigging. Hope you enjoyed this little tip video, and we'll see you next time.